Yes, hello slimy furtlers, and here we are again, and this time round we're going to be having a look at one of these, which is I'm not quite sure whether I've actually seen anybody else do one of these, but this is a Peugeot 405 shitting Peugeot.
Shitting Peugeot!
Because everybody knows all Peugeots are shitting Peugeots, and yeah, it was released by Peugeot starting in 1987, and this particular model was finally discontinued by them in 1997, so it had a good 10-year run, and it was one of the most popular sort of kind of family saloon cars on sale in Europe at the time. It was cheap and cheerful, basically. It was you could get the family in, you could get stuff in, so people bought it. And at one point I do remember seeing loads and loads of these on the roads, and yeah, it was wasn't a particularly glamorous car. It was a front wheel drive, basically like most French cars. It was a front wheel drive. Didn't have a particularly powerful engine, although they did produce I think it was 2 or 3, I think more likely 2 versions called the 405 Turbo 16, and they also made a 4-wheel drive version of it as well, but it was eventually replaced by the 406, and but weirdly enough they still make these cars in both Iran and Egypt. From about 95-96 they for some reason that part of the world took a bit of an interest in this particular car, and they still make them to this day. Everybody else has moved on, but that part of the world a bit backward. But yeah, so this is the Majorette one, because for some reason the French stuff, Peugeots, Renaults, stuff like that, you're probably best off going to Majorette to try and find castings of, because they're a French company, so they make castings of French cars. But yeah, this one's all right. It's got opening doors, and it's got a fair bit of paint chipping on it, which we can sort out. But no problem. Other than that, it's in quite good nick. I'm not going to have to make any new parts for it or try and find workarounds for it. The wheels are still nice and shiny. You wonder why I want to do anything to this. Well, because I just want to change the colour, and it's a shitting Peugeot and it deserves everything it gets. It's held together with just one rivet in the front and then a tab at the back, so should be easy enough to do. Unlike most Majorettes, it's got a nice heavy metal bottom, heavy metal bottom, and then it's got die-cast body, plastic interior. Some of the plastic comes through here to form the trim at the front and the back, and then the headlamps on both the front and the back are moulded in with the windscreen and everything, the windows, the plastic, the glass, whatever. So yeah, so I'm going to pop the rivet in this one, and then we'll get it into the goo and give it a couple of hours to soak, and we'll see what we have to work with from there.
Many months later.
Right, what we got here then? Well, we've got the Peugeot stripped off, as is kind of normal for the stuff. It spent a while in the goo, and the paint just fell off. I've shined it up a little bit with some sandpaper, because on the bonnet and the roof it had this kind of weird, almost like, how can I say, dimply sort of vinyl leather or fake leather like thing going off. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but yeah, I sanded all that down with some sandpaper and a couple of emery boards and stuff. And then I thought I might as well do the rest of the body as well. It's a bit, the scratches on it a bit, because I don't have any really fine sandpaper, but it'll do. I'm still getting bits of, like see on my fingers here, bits of black, well I say black, metal shaving sort of colour. But yeah, the body has come off really nicely. The doors went back in properly and everything like that, no problems. The spring holding the doors in place is nice. I don't need to pull it out and retension it or anything. So yeah, Just going to do a simple paint job on this one. Shouldn't be hard. I mean, it's only a fucking shitting Peugeot after all. But yeah, let's get it done nice and quick.
A few moments later.
Bang! How quick was that, eh? Right, yes, so here we are, basically all painted and done, because this was really simple, even though by this time a week has actually passed since I made the first part of this video, quite simply because I've had other things on, you know, stuff happening, things like that. But this one I was always intending to do it as a really quick one, and you know, so it's a no frills, basic clean up and resto kind of thing. So yeah, just to take you on a little tour around the bits that are here. I've already put the windscreen and the doors back in this one because that's really sort of fiddly and a pain in the arse, and I can't be bothered doing it on camera. But yeah, just the interior. I just gave a black spray to the entire thing because it was red. You can still see a little bit of red there, and then I just coated the internals with a sort of desert yellow, a slightly darkened desert yellow. I think I mixed desert yellow and a tiny bit of grey just to darken it off a little bit, because Peugeot cars, especially the cheapo ones, aren't renowned for their high quality interiors. It's cheap and cheerful. The base plate, well, the chassis, just sprayed it black, put a little bit of detail in there on those two lights in front. I can't colour the lights in, or I could if I wanted, but I'm not going to. The headlights on the front are plastic because they're part of the windscreen, as are the back. It's all just one piece that drops in. I'm not going to mess around with that. I don't have any translucent paints, and to be honest, the white bit really looks like looks nice on this. Other than that, the body just got a grey primer and then a zap of ironically Ford Green Jade metallic paint. It come out this lovely green metallic colour, and then on the front grille here I just put a little bit of black ink wash in there and put a little bit of silver on the front there for the Peugeot logo. Around the back just put a bit of a silver on where it says Peugeot and it says 405 turbo, and a bit of a black wash just to bring it out. Done. Right, so let's get this put back together. How do we do this? How do we go about this? Majorettes, really well built, but bugger me, are they a bit of a twat to put back together. Let's see, why won't that go back in there? Go back in there. Go back in there. Go back in there. There we go. The spring steel for the doors was stopping the dashboard going into the right place. Right, there we go. And then because it's just got one post on it, over there's the clip at the back. We'll just finagle it into place and pop. Is it going to pop into place? No, there's still a slight gap. Still a slight gap. Why is it not going into place? There we go. I think I drilled down a little bit too much when I went at this one with the drill. So just some super glue on its own might not be enough to hold the shitting Peugeot back together. A few drops of super glue down there. Give it a little blow just to push the super glue into the cracks and start the drying process. Top back on the super glue, and here's a tip: if you have a super glue bottle like this, when you finish using it, just bang it a couple of times on the table, because otherwise you end up with super glue residue in the nib, and it blocks it up, and then you end up wasting loads of glue and stuff, having to try and drill or force the stuff out. But yeah, there we go. There's the Peugeot 405. I can't actually remember whether it's a GTI or a TDI or turbo or whatever it is. I'll put it in the video title, so you'll probably already read it by this. But yeah, there we are. The glue doesn't seem to be drying very well. Oh dear. I'm gonna have to probably put some baking soda on that. But yeah, the door's still open, and it's had a coat of varnish over it as well. So, well, it's had a coat of lacquer, not varnish. good old proper car lacquer to keep that in. But yeah, it's we've got the doors still open and the interior is visible, so that's why I painted the interior in this one. But as usual, I will put some better pictures up at the end once I've sorted out this issue with the super glue and the post and everything. So I'll just probably chuck a little bit of baking powder down the hole and let it stick that way. But yeah, so thanks for watching, and this has been a quickie, a lot quicker than my usual stuff. And you know, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and go and you know, like my page on Facebook. And if you're feeling particularly generous, you know, maybe consider throwing me a couple of quid here and there. You know, I need paints, I need you know, spray cans and pots, you know. So you know, even if you give me a couple of quid to get a cup of coffee with or something like that, you know, that'd be great. But you don't have to if you don't want to. But anybody that does, you know, all donations are welcomed and received with thanks, and will be put to good use either in the thingy of this channel or buying supplies or whatever. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you later.